Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. Should be working now. Is it on? And it is working. Alright. We got it. We have one person watching. I'm going to DM Crystal the stream. Alex, are you able to announce the stream since I don't know what? Here, I'll just DM next to you.
What?
Never mind. Either XQ or Crystal is going to start the stream. Hi Dusty. We need another caster. We have 2 people watching currently. And I believe my stream delay is on. Is it on? I don't know, but I will be right back, boys.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up? So Jedi is currently AFK, so I'm going to entertain these viewers that are watching. Um, we currently have Rifles against 7th. I'm pretty sure Rifles has outnumbered 7th by a couple. I don't know. I feel like Rifles might win this one. I don't know what to say. I want 7th to win because I beat their kneecaps yesterday. That's interesting to know, Valky.
You want real entertainment? Victor's here.
Oh, okay, great. So I'm gonna go now, but you guys keep talking. Bye bye.
Nope. Nope.
Alright, what's up?
Hvorfor de guldgevær? Altså,
What the hell?
Hvem skal vinde? Det går
Alex, you good?
What is that?
de gratis.
Who is that?
Okay, Victor's rooting for Rifles because they have a green uniform and he's obsessed with green.
Okay, that's good enough information. Are you streaming right now?
Yeah.
Are you streaming like right now? Right now? Alright, got you. So, has anyone counted up the rallies yet, or is that yet to happen?
Oh.
So,
can
we
some
might as well do
dude-
it now, like, well,
Oh, we have
5
it
minutes,
now.
3 minutes before it begins.
12v13 is pretty basically even.
There's 11.
Pretty
Yeah,
even.
basically even. Pretty small
When we see
rallies
the
from both sides.
time
I really
leaderboard,
thought 7 was gonna rally a lot more.
Firehawk Dragon wants 7th to win because they beat their kneecaps yesterday. Alright. We are on season 6.
I definitely gotta say, how much did 7 from Rifles rally yesterday? Because this is quite small, for my opinion.
Rifles rallied like 17 and I think 7 rallied.
GMB rallied so much
15.
yesterday, yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm talking to the
So,
chat.
what are you saying? I couldn't hear you. Somebody spoke.
What?
I'm just saying, how much did 7 rally yesterday?
7th?
Yeah.
7th rallied decently yesterday from what I remember.
Yeah, quite small today, but you know, usually Rifles works better in smaller groups anyway. It seems they've always had small rallies, so it's like it's not anything like monumental today. So they
Let's
should
just
be able
hope
to
Rifles doesn't pull the
put up a
same
good fight
strat as
anyway.
yesterday with GMB. Because that took us forever, and we had the stream crash twice. That was funny though. Let's all be honest. But yeah. All right. Well, let's get started. No. XQ. No. No. Bye. Okay. No. Yo, can I kill XQ? DJ Boy is a private. Gary Jeffries, that might be too old. Oh, you're lucky. You.
Alright, now the code's buff ready, so what they're gonna do is they're going to do the epic dueling. So that's pretty fun. Or we're going straight in. Oh yeah.
We're just going straight in.
Alright, okay. Very good enough for me. All streamers,
I
casters,
check
and
BA
anyone
spawn.
who's even spectating invisible.
Let's see what 7th is trying to do for their game plan.
Bruh.
Right.
XQ when he invisibles me. Alright.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's looking at.
Looks like
Okay, I'm checking CA.
I'm gonna
Looks
check.
like-
Alright, so on Seven's
Yeah,
side, it seems
I got BA.
they're splitting out their men even, majority on each side. They're barely putting any people on the Forest side, and they're focusing mainly on the middle and, for Fishbowl. What's Rifles looking at?
Bro, super. You just casted my own side. Pain.
Me when I asked, sorry, but you should have been better.
Wow. Me when I asked. Wow.
Well, I'm sorry. If we're going by like hierarchy here, I outrank
I
you anyway.
overpower you. I'm head of
Fast
human
and priority.
resources.
Cares about the rank.
No. In casting terms.
In
Okay, man.
in media terms,
Means
I
I'm, like, better
outrank
than
you.
Square. You know
Technically, I could kick you from the group.
hypothetically, but it's not gonna happen. Okay,
You're
so
right, it's
what
not
the
gonna-
hell's happening with Rifles anyway? It seems they're all putting like just splitting out even across each side, so should be
Let's
pretty
get a view
interesting.
of rifles for the.
Hmm.
Rifles might be pulling the same strategy as yesterday. Okay, never mind. Because yesterday they
Same
all had a lot
strategy.
behind.
I'm interested
behind
about the
that one hill.
strategy.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to say the least. Because Rifles is not camping out their spawn right now. So this is gonna be interesting because if Rifles can actually get the high ground advantage or get some decent range against them, although I doubt 7th will do that. But if Rifles can get some decent range and stuff against them, 7th might be gone.
Rifles will probably
We have
fall
Deadly
back.
Flames 300 here, but he's deafened. That is
We're
sad.
definitely getting our first confrontation over at Fishbowl.
We're gonna yeah.
They're about to try to take over
We might
Fishbowl.
also have a bit of Someone else.
Use your big words. Confrontations on
Brain
all sides
exploding.
of this stage.
Confrontation.
Now what I find
Right.
quite interesting is how, was it goddamn? What side is Continental again? Rifles are getting tents quite easily. They've gained the majority of Forest and tents right now. So 7th on Forest and 10th side is looking kind of weak.
By the way, guys, remember to god yourselves. You might not be godded because I wasn't godded. Apparently.
Did you get shot?
No, I didn't get shot. I just godded myself.
But yeah, no, it seems Rifles is taking control of all major positions, which is really good for them. They're gonna be able to abuse and get a lot of kills off of this scenario.
Rifles ruins.
Gabriel, were you
though,
post
appears
where it's
to be
at
falling
ruins?
apart
Right.
a
Hey,
little bit.
I'm in game now, so would it be fine if one of you guys tempt me so I could fly around?
Someone Alex temp
Back
deadly.
to them.
Right now, it looks like Rifles ruins have kind of collapsed. Mainly, they mainly move towards Forest right now, and it looks like they're trying to take cross shots on the map.
Thing is,
Fishbowl's
Seventh
kind of
have-
been a standoff too.
7th. Okay, thing is, 7th have been able to beat Rifles before, but only when really like they outnumber them by a significant bit. Right now, 7th are like, if we can do change all time 1 very quickly, I think 7th are like slightly outnumbered here, like by a couple people.
Yeah,
So
we've seen.
even
we've seen
even
around.
though 7th are, yeah, it's 14 to 12. Even though 7th are currently in the lead, and we have to remember that there is a Rifles deficit, I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with this, especially as Super Hydeer said, Rifles taking all the main positions. You know?
Right, but bring your attention over to Fishbowl, and 7th is pushing on to Fishbowl.
And it looks like
7th
they've
have
gone
gotten
full
1
defense.
kill, but from that push, and from other areas of the map too, Rifles have been able to tie the game up
Rifles.
entirely. Seventh are pushing back Rifles, but I don't know if they're going to be able to hold Fishbowl decisively after that. Also,
No.
please tempt me, sir, please.
Oh, I'll tempt you. I don't think I can tempt.
Super, aren't you like a captain?
No, I got demoted like yesterday.
Oh, what are you now?
Don't know.
Lieutenant.
I think.
Lieutenant?
Uh,
That's sad for the former colonel, but let's not talk about that. Right now,
Wait, if you bring your attention back in the fishbowl, Rifles are
Rev
finally going
on
into
that.
counterattack, and 7th are totally exposed. They are not ready.
they
They need
not
to drop the
ready.
reload and get out of there. But
Yeah,
it
there's
seems
only
like they're
there's
just being
only
easy
3
pickings.
people on 7th on that.
7th is falling back a little bit by a bit.
They're falling back
Unfortunately,
quite a bit.
though, Rifles
Um,
are kind of not hitting their shots, but they are
Ooh,
getting.
There
it's getting
were only
exposed.
3 people originally on that push though, so it's
And they
not
missed
really
their
that
shot.
much of a loss since they were like as you can see.
I've
they were
noticed.
even
I gotta
at start of
say,
that push.
it seems from 7 last season to this season, they're playing a lot more passively in a lot of the areas. I think that's mainly just because they just don't have enough men to actually like fuel their pushes. Because usually, 7th is like a large rallying regiment that overpowers other regiments with their large rallies. But now, when they're kind of at a more equal stance against Rifles, who we know are very skilled in what they do, in their accuracy, pushing, and their tactics, it's kind of like a scary situation for them, if that's how I can put it. Oh, if you bring your attention down the forest real quick, you can see that Rifles have pushed down, and they're doing well. They haven't hit any shots, but they've definitely kind of messing up 7's like tempo.
Well, 7th, as we've seen, that they are playing a lot more passively here, and the thing is they don't normally play passive. They more play aggressive, which is kind of interesting to see them play passive because they're more even with Rifles if you're not minding the kill gap, of course. They
More
are
second,
sort of even.
More 7th.
And
Yeah,
we are
right.
having
We're
Rainy Home falling off the map. I don't know if that's considered suicide or not, but he just jumped off the map. So I don't know if HQ wants to look into that.
Well, that's the second time he's done that.
If that's the second time, then I believe we're gonna have fun.
He did that in the other match yesterday, like last push.
Then
think
Alex,
back.
if you want,
Rifles pushing from forest again. If you want to bring your attention over there, it's kind of like a baby push for you Rifleman just trying to get.
7th is also pushing up on Fishbowl. They're taking the ridge and decently. Rifles are. It's sort of just on and on the pushing on each side because 7th was that was HQ leaving.
Yeah.
But 7th was pushing up on Fishbowl, and Rifles are sort of counter pushing up on Forest here.
You know what I've been watching the game for a bit, and I've
Dano
noticed
is
something.
baiting.
What I've seen is Ruins has never been fully taken by anyone. It's just been sort of a stalemate there. But yeah, if anyone else wants to continue.
Who all is joined?
Oh, that was all the HQ. They left a few seconds ago.
But as I was saying, I was noticing something about how Rifles and stuff are playing. It's still extremely even, and I think that's because they have even numbers. Rifles are usually used against fighting against huge rallying regiments that have way more men than them, and that means that there's a lot more positions for them to be able to snipe at. But because of 7's limited men, there's not a lot of them in the opener fighting for space around them, so they have plenty of cover, which means Rifles aren't able to get as many snipe shots as they really want.
There aren't as many people too, because Rifles they're mainly used to low rallies compared to some of the big regiments, and that's what makes them such a big force.
Yeah. So that means
yeah.
most of the kills that are happening in the match are not snipes or people
But
being
I
cut out of
want,
cover. It's only during like major confrontations of pushes or like holding on a specific area.
But I
There's
won't,
very few sniping situations where people are getting cut out of cover because they have so much.
bruh. But I kind of want Deadly's opinion on this since he is a former Rifles NCO, right, Deadly?
For former Rifles leader, we'll just go ahead and say
Yeah.
that. I led them in Season 3 to their second ever victory. Or first ever one, it was actually.
Yeah.
Right now, what Rifles kind of have to do to be able to really decisively start like winning, really start decisively winning, is for them to push on Fishbowl. And normally, rifle regiments pushing, you don't see that too often. But really, right now, the whole entire thing, which is keeping 7th's defenses, stable at least, is their position on Fishbowl Ridge or Parking Lot Ridge. If they don't have that, if rifles are able to take the Parking Lot Ridge area, then they completely take out middle, and then they very significantly weaken their right side, 7th right side.
I
Two
agree.
seventh moved up.
To
So-
add on to that, I would say is they need to deal with the people who are stalking around tents first. There's not really there's only
Both
two
row,
people there, so
we've,
they don't
we've
really
already
like,
gone
pay
over the
attention.
rally.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
A little while ago. If you
But
want to go back
If
and
rifles
see.
are able to take parking lot, then it would be a lot easier to take tents and a lot easier to take right side. Willis, go ahead and say that, right?
Yeah, and I definitely think 7 is going to push on right side of Fishbowl because they're definitely like moving about. They definitely got,
They're
like,
they're
the,
they're rallying up there, like 3 or so people on that bush
There's at least
ridge,
7
and
people
then
there.
4 or so on the parking lot ridge. 7 are outnumbered, but still winning by 1 point directly, and we still have to remember that 12-point deficit that Rifles has. 72 kills.
It's still
they have to get-
so 7th still does have quite a bit on rifles.
Matt is
I love you,
not
Deadly.
decided
I
at all,
love you.
even when Rifles hold the main positions. Yeah.
I love you,
Yeah.
Deadly. Totally.
Uh,
But personally,
Rifles
right now,
are sent.
both
Oh.
regiments are sort of being very passive. Because as
Yeah.
you said,
Very passive,
if
but the only
rifles
main
did
area-
push onto parking lot, they would have a lot better time. As of course
Yeah.
you've said, and now I'm
Rifles are sending a couple of folks, 2 people to the ruins, maybe 3 in the future, to try to help them out with taking or dealing with Fishbowl Ridge, parking lot ridge. I think, really, though, Rifles are gonna have to either wait
Yeah,
for
Rifles
7
push
to
right.
push
Rifles
and
are
then...
pushing right now. Rifles. Are
Ooh, they're
Oh,
pushing.
are they?
Yeah, this
Yep.
is.
Ooh,
going
was
to
that
be-
raining? Was that raining?
Good,
Oh, that
good.
was raining.
Rifles
Raining
are
got
pushing
pushed
out
in,
the...
but they might get.
Dano
Fishbowl guys.
dead.
They might get screwed
Will
over
we
here.
be able to
Like
see
7s
them
are
push
dead?
further,
Keep
though?
pushing, no,
Because
they're falling
7th
back,
is
keep
at the
pushing.
ridge. So this is going to be
One single rifleman pushing up to that little ridge there. I mean, you kind of have to stay back. With such a long reload like that, you can't just reload in the open, especially against muskets.
See,
But
they all out of
still, I
reloads.
would like to see some more momentum in that push. I think they might start pushing again, but I can't say for certain. It's 21-19
You know,
in
I was
favor for
thinking,
Rifles.
after they hit the shot, I feel like they should have made like a beeline push, at least just pushing them out from parking lot, like or highway. They at least get them running back a bit, so they're actually able to gain like a good position on there while being able to pick up a few kills.
Exactly. I agree
Deadly,
with
you
that
want me
here.
to fly you and stuff?
Yes, please
I
do
thought,
so,
I
sir.
thought Deadly is what should
I mean, invisible me. I'm just looking from above.
No one's. Alex, temp Deadly.
No one has hit me. It's
Oh,
fine,
and
no,
Rifles are
it's
fully pushing onto parking
Oh.
lot, and they're getting a lot of kills.
They're getting quite
Yeah.
a bit of kills.
Rifles have been
they're
able to
not
push
losing
on
much.
the parking lot ridge. There's only one single 7th infantry, and nope, he's dead. The
And
Royal
they
Now
got it.
7th
Rifles
infantry
has
major
actually
Royal.
got a decent lead. Except for the
Dano
kill
Ross
deficit, which
and
is
Maxo
14-9.
56 are holding the ridges below parking lot, so they may be able to like serve a bit of a problem for Rifles to hold this area, but I don't think they're going to be that much of a pain. Really, right now, the 7th have to worry about their position on ruins and tents.
I feel like that's
Yeah,
true.
for example, Gabriel Repulsor on ruins, he was, in cover before Rifles pushed on parking lot ridge. Not anymore. He got shot from the parking lot ridge area whilst he was doing a certain rainy home.
Mainly, what I've seen in this game is cross mapping by both 7th and Rifles. Now, of course, Rifles, they're a lot better at cross map shooting because, of course, they have rifles, which is a lot less bullet drop, to say the least, to musket when it comes to cross map. But that's mainly why Rifles are winning decently right now.
This is interesting. Dana Ross, 7th
Dana
Infantry
pushed him out.
Captain, pushing back the Rifles on
Solo.
parking lot ridge, at least for a little bit. He's down to... Yeah, he's dead
Dead.
now.
Yeah.
But
He's
he
down
was
and
able to push back Rifles for a bit there. If he got a bit more reinforcements or a couple more people on that ridge,
I
I'm
think
sure
he
some
was
could
just
turn
there
that
to
into
sort of
something more decisive.
I think he was just there to sort of scout, but
Yeah.
it does look like Seventh is pushing a little bit. So I think he
Yes,
was just there to scout to see their numbers because they can see that there's no one over on parking lot.
And Rainy Home is
Yes,
going on
yes
top of
to-
ruins to the sniping
Just to
position.
clarify, is that allowed, Alexander? By the way, going top of ruins, is that allowed?
Yeah, ruins is allowed.
You're
He
right.
means
I
it's
just
allowed.
wanted to
And
clarify there.
it seems that the Rifles have gained some actual lead in points advantage anyway, not like the whole game, but like in the kills anyway. They've gained a bit of a lead that might
I
it's
Yeah,
probably
they-
believe
them alive.
Rifles
Gabriel
is
is
almost
pushing ruins.
completely actually, if you count the kill deficit, they're pretty much almost tied
Right.
with
Yeah. Some have taken back the
Gabriel's
parking lot ridge, but now it is officially a tied game. Rifles up 12 points, but due to the point deficit, it is technically only tied.
They're
definitely-
they're
that was
tied
a-
now.
that was
They're
a good-
completely tied.
In an analysis after the whole time, that was a good push from Rifles, and they fell back before Sem, started sending more reinforcements there. That was a good push. They didn't lose all that many people, and they got a lot of kills from it. Good job.
Well, what it looks like is Josh did slowly solo push there. I think Rifles are mainly out of shots here, so if Seventh did get a good push in here, they could probably destroy them because, again, Rifles, they're a lot slower for pushing.
Yeah, another
but
thing
it
I
does
am
look
noticing
like
in
there's
the
quite a
casual-
few solo pushes from either side.
Rifles with
on,
the
Fishbowl at least.
2-point lead, 3-point lead now. Rifles are also pushing
Still.
on tents. If you head over to tents, you will see that Rifles are pushing out the couple of 7th Infantry trying to hold out. Psychnaja 2, the 7th Infantry Lance Corporal trying to bayonet duel the Rifles Private. Going well so far, and he is able to get the bayonet kill, but
Anyway, Deadly, I just want to go off you about the great push by Rifles on Fishbowl because I really do think that's what changed the tide of this game. We were leading up to the very beginning game,
Yeah.
leading up into that push, and as soon as Rifles got that successful push going in, the 7th, their tempo, the rhythm was just off. Ever since they've been trying to reclaim ground and they've been losing men. Like, sure, they have the ridge again, but if you look over at the ridge parking lot, Rifles are pulling out another push.
Rifles are pushing again, yeah.
This
It really
is
does not seem to be
interesting.
going well for Senf anymore.
Seven
Really,
is
it's been
sorta
a
getting
losing
sorta
game for them ever since they lost the main positions. But that push from Rifles, that first one and now the second one, is really hammering the loss in.
They're
46 to
definitely feel like,
24. The point deficit does not matter at all anymore. Rifles are shooting past the point deficit.
47. That is a good 35 to 24 right now if you count in the kill deficit, which is
That
true,
is
and
a
I feel
huge
like,
point difference. Huge point difference. Do
yeah,
remember
I feel
though,
like
Sev
Rifles
have
are just making great pushes on that Fishbowl side, and some really need to stop trying to grab
Yeah.
that parking lot so much. I think they were
Even-
trying way too hard to
even with,
reclaim ground.
you
and
know,
it's
even with
losing
parking
men.
lot going on,
Jason
if
doing
you
his
head over
favorite,
to Forest Ridge 2, you'll see that Rifles have pushed down, taken the Forest Ridge 2, and it seems as if also they've kind of entirely taken Middle Ridge and Tents 2. There's one single Sev infantry on the ridges, that is Gabriel Repulsor on the middle, but that is it. Rifles have taken all the ridges incredibly decisively, and I don't see Sev pulling back from this.
I feel like their major flaw they made was hyperfixating on the parking lot ridge. As soon as they lost that position, they should have said, okay, we might try working it a little bit, but if we don't gain it back within like a few kills, we just give up on it. But they didn't give up on it, and eventually they did get it, but they just fed too many kills getting into it, and Rifles were just ready to push on it again. I feel like they definitely should have swapped like their angle of attack, maybe focusing on Forest or Tents more. Instead of
exactly, I agree with you. Right after the first decisive push from Rifles, and when they retreated, 7th just went back and put more people there. They didn't try to go to Forest or try to focus on middle. They just went back to the parking lot ridge and made it happen all over again. After that first decisive push, 7th might have had a chance to win. But after that second one, Rifles are just absolutely dominating. I don't see...
Rifles are currently were currently pushing. Right now, what it looks like is 7th is incredibly spread out. I honestly don't think this is a good plan for them because, of course, Rifles, they can shoot at range and they can shoot decently.
I don't think their
But,
plan right now is to be spread out. It's just kind of
just
how it is
how
right
they
now.
are,
kind of
yeah.
leadership,
I
their
think their
as I said
leadership and
before, their
everything has
tempo is
sort of
gone.
collapsed.
Everyone
If Seventh does
is-
want to get back into this game, I think they gotta regroup a little bit.
I mean, of course they want to get back into the game, but I don't see them doing it.
To be
Uh,
honest,
this
the only
is-
way I can see 7th going better than they are right now is if they put all their forces on one side.
Exactly.
This goes back
And
to
even
what I
then,
was saying
there's still
earlier.
15 kill deficit right now. Or
Well,
sorry, Rifles is still winning by 15. So this is gonna get interesting because if 7th can recover, which it doesn't look likely right now,
I don't know.
but they are slightly recovering.
I
if they
believe
can
I
recover,
believe this
Rifles-
decisive win from Rifles is what they needed. After that loss against GMB being out rallied 2-1, I think this victory right now is what Rifles needed to get their morale back up. However, question is, this is gonna be the first time since I think this is the first time in a season ever that 7th loses both of the matches the
opening
first
games.
weekend. Both the
Yeah, and
two
I
games.
feel
So
like
that's-
the sad reason for the losses, they didn't rally well today, which I'm gonna be honest was a big reason why they weren't able to do like their bread and butter techniques, like being able to overpower any enemy. So I think it's a rare situation where they have to work with so little people, you know. And
I
I
think
think that's the reason why 7th isn't
I
doing as well.
think
as
the
we would hope.
raid yesterday against Marines most definitely did have some kind of impact on on how the raid's going today. However, 7th are retaking the Forest Ridge, at least slightly. They have not been able to take back the Parking Lot Ridge nor Middle Ridge, but they seem to be making some efforts on the left side, or BA left side. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I feel like the major, like, when the gap really started to form was when, you know how I was saying earlier at the beginning of the match, how it was extremely even because no one was out of cover and they were, like, make sure that they were
Yeah.
safe and they couldn't be picked off.
Yeah.
As soon as that one big rifle push, like the decisive one, they, 7th have been scattered ever since, and that's allowed Rifle to be able to get those,
7th are pushing up on Rifles right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of
if 7th can regain that ridge, though, they will be in a decent position.
That was a good
But I think
push
they are
and
overextending
all.
right now. Yeah, they're still pushing.
No,
I think
7th
they're.
doesn't have anything to lose. They can keep
They
going.
might be
Yeah.
slightly overextended in this push,
They
but
are
if it goes well,
extremely
it would be pretty
overextended.
decisive, alright? It would be pretty decisive push.
Not the
Currently,
worst.
Currently, there are. a
it's
few
not going
deficits,
too
so
bad. It could be
So-
going better, alright?
It could
Oh,
be.
oh.
They might.
They're
This
going
seems
for
to be a
broke.
Might
really
have
good
rifles,
push from
though.
7th,
This-
especially when they're outnumbered
I
in the
think-
large scale.
I don't think
Twin City
Rifles
does get
was
the kill on
expecting
Dana
them
Ross.
to continue pushing, and I think that's what really screwed up their push there.
Yeah, they
screwed
were
up their defense
rifles expected 7th to stop at the parking lot ridge, so they went back to the bush and started reloading. Guess what?
Twin
They
City
did not
is
stop at the parking lot
counter-pushing,
ridge.
But I don't know what his men are doing. I think they're just getting their shot in. But
Right now,
Twin
they're
might
going
be
for-
screwed a little bit here because
Twin City is screwed.
Rev
That was
does
a
have-
that was a good push up until like the later parts of it, where a lot of people started dying. I would say that could have had the opportunity of being a lot better, but it was a fine push for what it was. 67 to 37. That was a nice push from 7th, but in all honesty, that is not what 7th need right now. That was basically just a trade push. They got as many kills as they got deaths, and really, 7th need a more decisive push to win this game. It's 69 to 37. Rifles need
like
3 more kills to win. I don't think 7th are going to be able to pull this one out. But we'll be able to see how many kills 7 were able to get at the end of this match.
True. Somebody just was typing in chat right there, saying, "What's with 7th?" And I feel like the main thing with 7th, I think we've already covered it in the low bits and pieces. But the major problems with 7 right now is the low rally. They're not used to fighting with low rallies, and maybe being a bit demoralized from the Marines' loss yesterday. That could also play a bit of a factor in it.
And match is
Bro,
over.
Yeah,
super,
got all.
Oh yeah.
Continue speaking, Super there, brother.
Oh, sorry.
No,
did I lag out?
bruh. They didn't
That's fine,
ask. They did
Yeah, I
foreclaim.
got screenshots.
What is up
Yeah.
with subs? I think they wanted Clem to answer that. The thing is, Clem is actually muted right now, so I don't know what he's doing. I think he's just sitting here chilling, listening to us. There was one more
Gee,
kill than there was
that's
supposed
anyway.
to be, but that wasn't
That's
good.
super. Anyway, Super, you gonna talk about 7th, what was happening
Yeah,
with them?
sorry, I thought I didn't. I thought somebody was talking about it. But as I was going on about it, the reasons why they lost was maybe demoralized, low rally, and they were hyper fixated on the parking lot rage. After they got defeated by rifles on that first push, they shouldn't have kept trying to get at it. And I feel like even though they did get it back eventually, they lost it almost immediately. And I feel that just kind of made them lose their tempo, and they were scattered out afterwards. And then that's where rifles really comes in. You know, they're able to pick off someone who isn't in the position they're meant to be. If you're not in the position you're walking in the open, a rifle will find your head and they will snipe you. So
Exactly.
the kill advantage just got too large, and there was no coming back from that. And rifles were just in a better position.
That was
you want to add onto that?
me. I think really, you said this before already. 7th played pretty solidly right up until that push, because then afterwards their leadership was kind of mainly focusing on taking back the Fishbowl Ridge, so they weren't focusing on actually being in cover, right? So if they were able to like hold that push on parking lot, then I think that would have turned out very different from 7th. But generally, what they should have tried to do, as you said, they should have tried to focus on taking other ridges. Because I think what Rifles did was that they just allowed 7th to take the parking lot ridge, and then they just constantly did these piston pushes, like pushing forward, moving back, pushing forward, moving back, etc.
I love how Rainy is glitching right now. MP, if you want to report him right now, because I do have this on camera. Yeah, Rainy just flew away.
You don't have to.
That's glitching.
That was a fun raid. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to be there for the next raid today. That's
which will be
Bird Artillery versus Marines match of the week. That's going to be at 1:15 p.m. EST today. So if you want to watch that, then make sure to watch the stream.
45 minutes.
All right, I am going to turn off the stream now. I will see you guys later. Have a nice night or whatever.